YouTube, what's going on, guys? It's Mike here, back with another video, and this is going to be a short one. This one is just an unboxing of a plant that was shipped to me from Off the Beaten Path Nursery. This is a fig tree. I just wanted to show you guys what the fig tree or any plant would look like when it's a living plant sent in the mail. I haven't opened this up yet. As you can see, I just received it. It's going to be, I'm assuming, just a potted plant, a 1 gallon pot in this box. But just for those of you that are curious onto what to expect when you receive a plant in the mail, this is the video for you. So let's open this thing up. I'm excited to see what it is. All right, I got you guys kind of at a bird's eye view here. Pardon my ugly feet. Let's open this thing up. So just as a little advisory here, I'm sure every online manufacturer is going to send something a little bit different. In this case, this is Off the Beaten Path. They're a pretty reputable fig. They do a lot of fig trees, and they do other plants as well. But I love them for their fig trees. So as you can see, guys, basically the plant is just stuffed in the box. Leaves look like they're in good shape. Like I said, it came in about a ½ gallon or 1 gallon pot, and it looks good. I mean, it's definitely a little shocked. It didn't love that, but there's a bamboo stick in there, probably for rigidity to stop it from bouncing around. It looks like it was in pretty healthy shape before it was shipped, and now it's just a little bit, a little upset, but that's to be expected. What I'm going to do is I'm going to put this tree in the shade outside, kind of let it acclimate itself. I'm not going to put it in full sun. That would be a bad idea to shock it even further. It was just in the dark for probably about a day or two. This is a yellow long neck fig plant. Let's get this one outside, and then I'll show you guys how I plant it in. I'll do a checkup in a couple days to see how it looks now, and then what it looks like after being in the shade for a day or two, just reacclimating back to normal climate. So, okay guys, so here we are, we're in the shade now. As you can see behind me here is the sun. That's the outside, the grass and stuff, but I have it underneath an overhang here, kind of like a garage area, where it's not going to get full sun, but it's going to get some sunlight, if you know what I mean. This would work at like a north-facing side of a building or something like that, where you're not going to get a ton of sunlight, but you're going to get some sunlight. So I just want to take this off. Again, I don't have a knife with me. Let me go grab a knife. So I'm just gonna take this off. I got my garden knife here just to cut the plastic a little bit. And this is just going to let the soil breathe. You don't want to leave this on. It'll create a lot of humidity and fungal issues if you do. You definitely want to take this off when you get your plant. Just trying to be delicate here, not to cut it. All right, so there it is. This is let me take the tag off. This is the yellow long neck fig tree, which will be exciting to see. What I hear is it's got a very unique shape, and it will ripen in the New Jersey climate, which is where we are now. So very humid and hot today. We have a short season, but hopefully we get some delicious figs out of this guy. So I will check back in with you guys when this plant has reacclimated to our environment and I'm ready to plant it in the ground. See you guys soon. All right guys, so I got a little bit ahead of myself and I planted the yellow long neck fig in the ground, and it just did fantastic, guys. So this is it behind me. Holy cow, did it grow. No, I'm just kidding, guys. This isn't it. This is my mature, I think it's a brown turkey. It's actually an unknown, unnamed fig. I've been calling it a brown turkey, but this is the one that's been in my family for years behind me, and it is just doing fantastic. We're at the second week of July here. Let me show you. I did get ahead of myself. I planted the yellow long neck in the ground. Here is that yellow long neck. This is it. I planted it in. I hardened it off maybe 3 or 4 days out in the sun, back into the shade, and then I decided it was ready to plant in, and it might have been a little soon. There's a ladybug in there, probably eating some aphids that it's dealing with, but the plant's doing all right. So that's the update right there. But I did promise you guys that I would show you how I plant these in the ground. So what I'm going to be doing is removing this stump As you can see, I started working it already. I'm going to pull that out, and I'm going to plant in this pretty little dark Portuguese that I actually got from Off the Beaten Path as well. I ordered this one as a cutting over the winter, and this one successfully rooted in my house in the spring, and then I brought it out in the late spring, and this is how much it's grown in, I don't know, a month. So it definitely rooted. It's doing well, and I think it's time for this guy to go into the ground. Now this is its partner, another Off the Beaten Path nursery fig that I propagated successfully. This one is the Lyndhurst White, and it's doing pretty well. I planted this one in the same time that I planted the yellow long neck. So these two here were planted in, I'd say, last week, and now we're going to put the dark Portuguese in the hole that we dig this one out in. So I'll show you guys how I do that. I'll bring you along. Let's first pull this root out. It's pretty much there. It's really loose, so let's just get the rest of it, and I'll show you how we plant.
All right, this is a great opportunity for you to go down and hit that like button if you like this type of video, and consider subscribing to my channel if you want to see more videos like this about fig trees and other homesteading content.
All right, guys, so here's the wheelbarrow of material that we're going to use to backfill that hole with, and I just want to talk about it really quickly here. Basically what this is composted soil. So it's mainly the compost that I made. I have a video about making leaf mold on my channel here. I'll put the link up here somewhere for that video. But basically I take that material, I mix it with a little bit of topsoil, a little bit of sand, some pebbles for aeration and drainage, and then I added some diatomaceous earth into this, which is a great source of silica. Shout out to Ross Ratty for teaching me that. And I just kind of made a nice blend, a nice mix of this good rich soil. What this is going to do is act as sort of a transitionary medium from the rooting medium that we use to root the fig in to the native soil that we're planting it into. So this is going to be like that medium ground where the roots can kind of grow and then reach down into that native soil and adjust and adapt. And then ultimately grow to become a beautiful big lush fig tree like that native twigs fig that we have here, or the original twigs fig. So that's what we're doing with this soil. I'll show you guys what I do. I'm just going to backfill it right in, and then we'll plant that fig tree. So let's go over there and do that. In case you guys were wondering who's the barking, all the noise over here, this is my sister's dog. Shout out to Arthur. He's crashing the videos. And so if you hear some barking in the background, this is the culprit, guys. So bear with me on that. This is my wife here. This is Katrin. She comes in and she's the lady behind the scenes most of the time. She doesn't get a whole lot of film time, but you know, she makes an appearance once in a while, and you guys were lucky today to see her. So let's get back to that fig. All right, guys, so I just want to go over a couple points as we plant this in. So I'm just going to talk and work, and you guys can watch me do this. So basically the key here is, as you can see, I kind of made a little bit of a crater, but the sides of this crater are higher than the middle, and obviously we're gonna dig the hole. You guys would probably use a shovel or something for this. This is obviously just really fresh stuff, so I can do it with my hands. But you know, what you want to do is dig a hole and make it shallow, so that the top of the plant, the top of the pot, and we'll pull this pot off. I'll show you. Basically, when you do this, you put the plant between your fingers, the stem. You hold it upside down, you kind of squeeze around the pot, and then you pull it right off. And as you can see, if it's wet, which you do want to wet this down a little bit before you do this, you'll end up with a nice sturdy root ball. And now this guy, he's not completely rooted out. Like I said, he could probably have finished the season in that pot and been just fine, but because of my own craziness, I want to get this little section planted. So anyway, back to what we're doing. you want to make sure that your hole isn't too deep. So just by setting this into the hole, we can see, and maybe you guys can't see the best angle, but the top of the root ball is above the soil level. And that's important because if it's too low, you can actually end up drowning your plant. You don't want to do that. So you want to make sure that the top of the potted plant is above the soil surface. And it's okay if a little bit of the roots are exposed, you know, we'll cover those up. But before we go and fill this in, there is something I definitely want to talk about really quick. And I've talked about it in previous videos, but there's no better time than the present, right? So this is called Mycorizae fungi. And what this does is it actually creates a symbiotic relationship or association with the plant. So just to kind of briefly go over that, and what that means is the fungi will attach itself to the plant root, and it will grow faster than the root can grow in the soil, and it will find nutrients that the plant can't necessarily solubilize and get for itself. It'll bring those nutrients back to the plant root at which it's attached to, and then it'll trade with the plant. The plant will give the fungi starches and sugars that are made with photosynthesis in the leaves that the fungi can't make, and in turn the fungi will give the plant those insoluble nutrients to the root system of the plant, most commonly phosphorus, so things like that. And that's really what mycorrhizal fungi does. It's just it's a symbiotic thing, and the plants do really well. I noticed this particular brand, it does really good, and I've done experiments where I've used it and I haven't, and the plants with the symbiotic relationship with mycorrhizal fungi do fantastic. So not to bore you guys too much on that, you definitely want to use some mycorrhiza, and this is how you apply it. You basically take a pinch and you sprinkle it like salt on a steak or something right around the roots. And it's very important that you get the mycorrhiza fungi on the roots itself and not just around them, because once this stuff gets wet, I think there's like 12 or 24 hours for it to make an association with the roots before it dies. So I add it directly to exposed roots like this, and then I'll add some to the bottom of the hole there. Lay it in, you lay the plant in the ground, and then just like any other potted plant, guys, you just fill it in nice and gently, fill it in, making a nice little mound. You want to keep, like I said, you don't want to drown this plant. And then what I'll do is I will take wood chips and I'll kind of fill around the plant and make it level so that the mound isn't like a volcano and water doesn't just run off of it. So I'll show you guys what I'm talking about. All right, so as you can see, we kind of have the mound there, and now we're just going to take our rake and I'm just going to pull some wood chips up from around the area. We're just going to kind of go in a circle here and just build a little bit of a kind of like a mound around the plant. So kind of like this. All right, so here's a little bit of a close-up. I don't know if you guys can see this, but there's a hill here. There's a gradient. So the wood chips are going to create kind of a mountain for this, but inside of that mountain is like a crater where we're going to fill with water. But don't forget, we put the plant's roots higher than the rest of the soil around it. So it will never have a situation where water will sit inside or on top of this root system. It's going to run away. It's going to run down this way, but we have the gradient of the wood chips right here. So we're going to we've created kind of a trench around the root system where the water can soak in and under the roots, but never drown it and sit like a puddle on top of it. So that's kind of the goal when you're planting any kind of a plant. Now there's one more step to this, and that's we have to water this in really well. I'm going to place the wand head right on top of that root ball that we planted in, and I'm soaking directly on top. And as you guys can see, you could kind of follow where the water's going. It's running off to the sides, but it's not running out of our little volcano that we built, our little mountain. So you can kind of see what the water's doing and where it's going, and it's just soaking right in around the root ball that we just planted, and that's exactly what we want, guys. We don't want to drown this. We want good drainage, and that's another reason why I use a transitionary medium whenever I'm planting into some soil. I always like to dig a big hole and then backfill that hole with a medium that's similar to our rooting medium but has a little bit more nutrients, just so that the roots can explore into that stuff, develop, get a little bit stronger, and then shoot into that native soil, which is all around the area here. All right, guys, so that's the end of the video here. That's really that's all there is to it. This video was supposed to just be a short little thing about what it's like receiving a plant in the mail. It turned into a little bit more than that, but I'm glad it did. If you guys like this type of video, if you like this particular video, give me that thumbs up. That really helps the channel spread. If you love this type of stuff, hit the subscribe button. I'm gonna be making all types of videos like this about fig trees, about other fruit trees, vegetables, homesteading, all types of stuff like that. And if you absolutely drop dead loved it, share it with a friend, share it with a fellow fig grower. Send them my way. We'll see if they like this type of stuff too. And with all of that, guys, enjoy the rest of your summer. I'll catch you guys in the next video. Have a nice day.